whew, it's like 61 degrees out, and in the tub it's like 40 degrees out. It's just cold. I do not like the cold, but hey, let's get started. Let's talk about distractions. What are some major distractions? Kind of like this camera's a little tilted off in here. So let's think of what the biggest distractions are life and what distractions are doing to you and how they're affecting you. So distractions, obviously in general, are distracting you. They're taking away from your what could be getting you closer to your goals, right? Your success, your family, your friends, a good time, all these things. I'm not saying, it's almost impossible to avoid distractions, but you can find ways to make it so you have less distractions. Let's say you're addicted to looking at your phone. You have phone apps, Facebook, you have video games on your phone. You catch yourself constantly looking at your phone, all that stuff. So if you're at work and you're constantly looking at your phone, put your phone away. Put it somewhere else. Lock it under your desk so you can't access it until a certain time. Give it to somebody, put it somewhere you can't access it. If you're going out on a date or you're going out with friends and you realize that you're looking at your phone more than engaging in the conversation, you're checking it, it's a distraction, you're putting it on the table, making it seem more important than the person you're with, do not bring your phone to the date or out, right? Just keep it. This is great as a parent, right? How do you make it so your children are less distracted with their devices or less distracted with games or other things when you're trying to get them to do their homework or you're trying to get them, to clean up or all stuff? Well, as a children's brains are undeveloped. You can't rely on the child's. You need to step in, get their phones, put it in a lockbox, put it somewhere they can't access it, and regulate that, because if they don't have access to it, it makes it really simple to avoid. No different than if you have an eating issue or whatever. If you can find to eliminate, obviously you can't eliminate eating, but you can not buy certain foods at your house, so therefore they're not available. So you want to simplify your life and avoid distractions, because distractions are, what do they say? I was watching something how, it's Christian Bible stuff, and they're talking about distractions as devil's best, so, fuel to get us, right? Because the more distracted we are, uh, he wants us distracted and lazy, right? Because we're very unproductive. We don't feel good about ourselves. We have less purpose in our life, less drive in our life. So we don't accomplish, we don't reproduce, we don't do all this stuff. Not saying you have to reproduce to be great. Not saying you have to follow the Bible. I just, as somebody who digests anything and everything to learn from. I don't care what it is. If there's a book about something that I don't believe in, but it's based off of pop culture, I will read it just so I understand what other people are gathering, what information, and you can always learn something from something, right? So, from a distraction standpoint, what we want to focus on, right? And in the comments, please give ideas, right? Like, what has helped you eliminate distractions? I use the phone or devices or the TV as a big example because that's where we spend most of our time, that doing unproductive things like surfing on Facebook, watching videos on YouTube, right? Obviously, it is a powerful tool. It can do tons of things. I'm not saying do not use your phone at all, but if you have to work on your phone, but you're constantly checking your messages, or do this, maybe turn that off. Get an app that shuts that off, or delete that app for that time period so you have to re-add it. Find a way that, or get another phone where it's only for phone calls, right? You can't text message, you can't Snapchat, you can't TikTok, you can't whatever it may be, whatever your distraction is. So same thing, if you are working and you have your email pulled up and you're constantly hear that ding, turn the ding off, right? Turn off your emails, get it out of there. Only allow yourself to access at certain times. That's as if it's being a distraction. You have to analyze what is a distraction to you and how is it affecting you. So obviously the first thing to do is take note of what is your biggest distraction. What's your second biggest distraction? What's your third biggest distraction? At that point, I'm assuming they're going to amount to majority of things. Maybe you distract yourself by procrastinating by doing something else. This is a big one. They're like, oh, I have this big project for work. I have this document to turn in, but instead I'm going to clean the house first. or I need to go ride my bike first. I need to do X first. I'm all for exercise. I'm all for, doing things to get you in the right mindset. So if you need that, that's great. That's not a distraction. That's something that will push you to get things done more effectively. All for that. But if it's distracting you so much that you're never getting to it, and you're just constantly putting it off, and you're using that as an excuse of like, oh, I didn't have much time, I didn't have this. We all have the same amount of time. It's amazing what some people accomplish in their time versus others. Not saying I'm the best with it. Coincidentally, I'm reading this book, Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy. Highly recommend it. It's good, it's clever, short and sweet. It's basically saying do the most difficult thing first. So if you had to eat a frog, eat the ugliest frog first to get it out of the way, and so you're rest with the things that are much easier during the day. There's other simple rules that I've learned, like it's the 5 second, 5 minute rule, whatever you want to call it. It's if something takes 5 minutes or less, just do it immediately. Just get it done. Granted, if it's a hierarchy of things and it's not a priority to you, might be something you don't do, and you focus on the hard thing first. You don't want to get distracted with just busy work. A lot of people, when they're working day to day, or they're running a company, or they're with, you know, kids and all these things, they get busy with all kinds of stuff. I talk to entrepreneurs and they're always like, oh, I'm busy doing this, I'm busy doing this. I'm like, well, what's productive? Is that bringing in, revenue for you? Are you generating more cash flow with all this busy work? Or can you hire that out? Can you find somebody to replace those mundane tasks that aren't providing much use to you, and focus on the things that are going to bring in more revenue, and things that you really are great at and that will really drive the bottom line in your organization or your business. Are you managing more effectively? Are you leading more effectively? That's where you want to hire somebody. We have access to VAs, we have all that stuff. Train them, make sure they're up to par, and we'll do all your busy work, scheduling, all that stuff. Links are below. Obviously, this is about distraction, so let me not get distracted on that topic. Obviously, you can do this yourself, but I always recommend hiring people if you can, so you can focus on things that's better. If you know you can go take a class and it will make you $100 more a month, or $1,000 more a month with your income because you get a raise in salary, it's better to hire somebody to do busy work for you for that time period. Invest always in yourself. It always will reap the rewards, right? So what can you do to eliminate distractions most? First, analyze what you're doing, pinpoint those distractions, eliminate them as much as possible. Remove it from your phone, remove it from your computer, remove it from your life, or make it so you're only allowed to do it between X and time period. I'm a big believer. I set stupid rules in my life. Like, I have rules about everything. Like, I have to go on a bike ride before I eat breakfast. I have to do, this before I do that, right? Like, and I set simple rules that will enforce what I want my behavior to do. It works for me. I'm not saying it necessarily will work for you, but again, focus on these things that will make you better. I'm getting out of the saying, it's past my time. Much success. Take care.